spring, Toastmasters International gives us the honor of awarding somebody. This is the most highest award given to a non-Toastmaster for their leadership and community involvement. It is the most significant thing that you could possibly accomplish. Today, I think you will see that we have chosen the right person. Ted Carroll's leadership has had a long history in Hartford, Connecticut. And he has revealed that when he contemplates leadership, he believes that the leadership journey and one's spiritual journey are very similar. That is, on each path called to discover, develop, and share our gifts with others. Very similar to what we do in Toastmasters. As Ted is the president of Leadership Greater Hartford, and I generally consider that the hub of the nonprofits in Connecticut, in the Hartford County. He strives to reach as many people as possible so that residents of this region and beyond have opportunities to discover, develop, and share their leadership talents in ways that strengthen their community. He is a strong advocate of servant leadership. Does that sound like a familiar term, Val? A term very familiar to us Toastmasters, and he tries to live by 3 questions that Robert Greenleaf, the author who first coined this term, ponders. Do those served grow as persons? Do they, while being served, become healthier, wiser, freer, more autonomous, more likely themselves to become servants? And what is the effect on the least privileged in society? Will they benefit or at least not be further deprived? But before we had the honor of hearing Ted's story and how Ted got to be here today, I think it's always fun to share some things that we might not know about an individual. So I would like to share 3 things that I have discovered about Ted. Makes him more human to us. Ted loves everything French, including speaking it poorly. And Ted is very, very spontaneous. This past Monday, he actually went into the office, immediately turned around, went and hopped on a bus, and went up to see the Boston Marathon. Wise choice. And speaking of Boston, he is an avid Red Sox fan. And Ted remembers fondly how often he would cry as a young boy when they lost.
Go Yankees!
And now he cries privately. So, let's see. It is an honor and a privilege to present to you today to the most humble, human, and worthy servant, the President of Leadership Greater Hartford, Ted Carroll.
I feel I should open with bonjour mes amis. Bette, thank you for that introduction, and I don't know, I didn't know there was an inner sleuth in you, and I'll have to find out who the spies were later on, but it is greatly appreciated to have such a warm and personal introduction and to be with you today, to receive what is a very touching recognition. I must say I've had the opportunity, because I've been at Leadership Greater Hartford so long, from time to time, I've actually been recognized for my leadership. Largely, that is what I would call reflected glory. Most of the work done at Leadership Greater Hartford, quite honestly, is done by other members of our staff, our board, people like Ann Smith, our chairman, Macy Russell, and one of our ambassadors, one of your members, people like that who do good work in the community. Sometimes they do it in teams, and it ends up reflecting on the president of the organization. So I guess I understand that to some extent, although it doesn't always seem fair. But this idea that I would also be recognized for communications is a little daunting, particularly in the midst of such proven communicators. And I was telling my wife earlier today that I have no doubt that my debate coach from my high school years would either be smiling right now or hanging his head in disbelief. Because my 2-year track record as a debater it was something like 4 and 23 on the junior varsity team. I was not a strong debater. And I would say years after my debate experience, despite my experience, or perhaps because of it, I would never be physically comfortable talking. In fact, maybe you've experienced this earlier in your life, the old cotton mouth, that couldn't come up with any saliva if life was dependent on it. And sometimes even worse reactions, which I won't get into since we just had a lovely lunch. No need to go there. But it's wonderful that you would combine both qualities, leadership and communication, because the two are so inextricably tied. And I want to just speak a little bit about that. Excuse me. At Leadership Grade at Hartford, we teach 5 key leadership practices, one of which is called inspiring a shared vision. And as I think about what the work of Toastmasters is all about, the way you study your audiences, the way in which you listen first, and the way in which you are able to communicate, tell stories, those are key ingredients in being able to inspire a shared vision. And the fact is, it doesn't matter which group that we work with at Leadership Grade at Hartford, be it our high school students, those in their business years, or those in their retirement years, it doesn't matter. Inspiring a shared vision always is the lowest score that people rank themselves. Maybe there are 4 other practices, but inspiring a shared vision is the place where they score the lowest. So, it strikes me that there is opportunity here for Leadership Grade at Hartford and Toastmasters to connect in a way that might serve our members better. There might also be a way in which the work that we do at Leadership Grade at Hartford might also be of benefit to those in Toastmasters as well. And I won't go into all of the other practices, but let me just dwell on one. It's something we call modeling the way. Modeling the way is all about practicing what you preach, doing what you say you're going to do, etc. And as important as words are, you as an audience know better than most how powerful words can be. The fact is, you would probably even agree with me that actions speak far louder. I don't know if you all had the same mother I had, but she said to me very often, do as I say, not as I do. You did have the same mother. Even as a 6-year-old, that rang hollow for me. It turns out that it's a key leadership practice to actually practice what you preach, to make sure that our actions are aligned with our words, that our actions are aligned with our values. If we have certain aspirations, if we have certain hopes, ensure that our behaviors actually are in accordance with that. In that way, we can be credible leaders. We can have actually people who will respect us, dare follow us, because there is no disconnect between what we say and what we do. So in that way, I believe the communications and the leadership, the getting things done, getting the right things done, ensuring that our actions follow our words is quite important. One exercise we've been doing in this past year that I would invite you to consider doing for yourself, particularly, and you probably do it as part of your Toastmasters training, if you were to boil it all down, how would you put your own life story, your own life philosophy, your highest values into a bumper sticker? And what would that bumper sticker read, right? It's a good question, I think, and I invite you to ponder that. But more importantly, will you live according to that bumper sticker? My friend David O'Brien has written a book, and he tells a story about how this woman who was running late for an appointment one day, and she was racing down the road only to find that it was bumper-to-bumper traffic. Anybody ever get caught in a situation like that? Worse still, she was behind a school bus that insisted on stopping every block or two. Now she's getting crazy. She's stepping on the gas, hitting the brakes, stepping on the gas, hitting the brakes. Worse still, in the rearview mirror, she sees these siren lights going in the rearview mirror. Now, bad enough that she was running late. Now she was getting pulled over. The cop pulls her out and immediately handcuffs her. She said, "What is that all about?" And the cop said, "I saw the way you were driving, and I saw that your bumper sticker said Serenity. I figured you must be driving a stolen car." So it's just a reminder to all of us that we have to drive according to our bumper sticker. We have to lead the life that we say we want to lead. Otherwise, we get pulled over. We get stopped. People will question. People will wonder. So on my car, because I'm at Leadership Greater Hartford, I have a bumper sticker that says "Follow a Leader," which I must say means that, Jane will tell you, I do sometimes go through those stop signs, those rolling stop signs. But generally speaking, I drive carefully. I no longer use a cell phone, thank goodness for hands-free. And I really watch where I take my car, because people are watching, so you think about that. You think about that. And so what I want to just invite you to do is think about not only what's on your bumper sticker, but are you living your life in a way that you won't that you won't risk getting pulled over, that you won't risk stopping. I know for me, there are certain values that I hold dear to, servant leadership values, certain things like respect. Well, then I should be respectful. Trust, then let me be trustworthy. Love, I'm going to love to the best ability that I can. And forgiveness, because I know I'm going to come up short in all those other ones. And it's important to forgive myself and to forgive others. But I invite you to think about what's important in your life. And how do you ensure that not only can you communicate that message to the rest of the world, but that you can live in accordance with that message. It is abundantly clear to me tonight that there are opportunities for Toastmasters and Leadership Greater Hartford to continue the conversation and the work that is taking place here today. And my fondest hope is that we will work together to build an effective partnership between our organizations in ways that will help us all live according to that bumper sticker. Thank you very, very much.
Leverage the clients that you identify as needing leadership skills. And I must say that what Ted's organization does, and we're just about to the last chapter, he offers this book discussion, and he always picks a book that is about leadership. And this last one was absolutely brilliant, and I suggest that you write it down. The book is called Infectious. And this last chapter was on intent. It's all about purpose. The intent that we have is what we live out. So isn't it wise to live out what our intention is positively, productively? And Ted has been such a productive force in the Hartford County Society. I have learned so much from him, and I can't tell you how many other organizations and individuals have learned, from young children all the way up to those retired, working together to find a community project to benefit somebody else. He is always teaching how to pay it forward. Thank you. And I'd like to bow up, because I think we have something 2% to add.
Ted, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read this very special plaque in honor of you as our 2014 Communication and Leadership recipient. And then I'll have you stand in front of the lectern because we're a little tight here, and I'll formally present it to you. There. You're a little taller than I am. But I'd like to read the plaque to you so that you know what our organization thinks of when they recognize communication and leadership recipients. These awards are very important for our organization to recognize the members of our community and our marketplace today for what they do. Toastmasters International Communication and Leadership Award, presented by District 53, to Ted Carroll, Leadership Hartford, for outstanding service to his community, state, and industry through communication and leadership. April 26, 2014, Mr. Ted Carroll, congratulations.